What's up, car fam? So a while back we asked you in the Insta story if you guys would want a tutorial on how to edit dance competition photos for your Insta story. So here it is. I'll put my phone screen right here. That way you guys can follow along. I'll start off with an easy one, and by easy one I mean like the dancer is doing a movement that kind of fits the way that Insta story goes, as opposed to something that's a little bit more, you gotta get creative if the dancer is doing something wide. The first photo I'm gonna go ahead and edit is Veronica. First thing you need to understand about editing a photo for Insta story is the actual size of Insta story. And it is a little tricky to get to that exact size. I'm gonna be using an iPhone just because that's what I know and that's what I have. So Insta story is 9:16. If you notice, if you go into sizes, which is that little box, the little white and gray boxes in the bottom right corner, and if you click on those, it gives you different sizes. Now I said 9:16. You don't see a 9:16 there, you see a 16:9. In order to see 9:16, what you're gonna have to do is first take the photo and crop it to where it's a up and down, it's a vertical rectangle as opposed to horizontal. Doesn't matter, you don't have to get it just right there. When you do that, and then if you click that button in the bottom right corner again, you'll see 9:16 ratio now. You click that, now that is the size of Insta story. So what you're gonna wanna do is crop the dancer however, or crop yourself, however it is that you want it to go in Insta story. It doesn't always have to be the whole thing. Sometimes you wanna leave it a little bit smaller than the whole thing, just to show perspective. But for this situation, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just put her right there. Okay, now, as you guys know, Insta story doesn't have an actual editing tool. What they have is filters, and you swipe and different. If you're like me and you're like super particular about how the photo looks, then you probably are going to want to edit it first there. And there's two different, like, let's call it two different levels of editing in the iPhone. You have it to where you can just click light and you can just swipe it from left to right and it'll make it darker or lighter. Or you can click this little arrow button and it opens up all the little detailed edits. So that would be kind of like if you're editing in the Instagram tool. But I think that the iPhone editing tool is just like a little bit better than the Instagram editing tool. I would just mess around with these different ones. For example, like I know for my style, I would probably darken it up just a little bit. At this point, how you edit it is really a preference thing. But the cool thing is if you edit it, if you edit one of your photos a certain way, you're probably, without even thinking about it, are gonna edit the rest of them the same way, so then you'll start to develop a theme. Like I do like saturation, because see, like saturation just brightens the colors, and I think for Instagram that's important to have bright colors. So I always up the saturation a bit. I'm gonna spend a second on cast, and the reason for that is because I think it applies to dance competition photos. Now, have you ever seen a dance competition photo that is a little bit on the orange side? Well, the reason for that is because the lighting that the venue has. The venue will have lights that are orange as opposed to white, and it'll make the whole stage, give it like an orange tint. Now, if you had that, what you would do is you would go to cast, and you can take the orange out by moving one side. If you move one side, it adds like a blue, and if you move the other side, it adds like an orange. So depending on how it looks to you, and then also that's a preference thing too. If you notice, whenever I post, I like it to be even like a little bit more to the blue side than the orange side, but I'm gonna just leave, I'm gonna leave Veronica like that. Okay, so this is one important part. When you're done editing the photo, what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna screenshot the photo. The reason you're gonna wanna screenshot the photo when you're done editing it is that way the photo ends up in the first photo. When you swipe your phone up to actually add something in, it's the first photo there. Because if you don't do that, it's gonna use the date of the photo, like when it was taken and all that stuff. If you took 100 selfies by the time that you're trying to post that photo, then it's gonna not be the first one in your feed and you're gonna have to go and find it. So I just screenshot it at the end, so it's the first one, and it's just a tip that helps. And you guys know what to do from here. Most of the time what people do is they'll go ahead and post a photo and just leave it like this, then kind of write in the gray area, whatever it is. You can't see Veronica's face, you can't see like any details or anything like that. That's why in my opinion, it always makes sense to edit it to a place where you can actually see what's going on in the photo. Let's do one or two more. I'll go through these a lot faster. We're gonna do Sophie right here. She's also standing tall, so it does help. Start off same thing. Remember now, what we have to do is make the photo skinnier. Then 9:16 will be there. What we do is we decide where we want to place her. Let's just fill the whole thing in this situation. Now, if you just wanted to brighten her up, you can just go light and just actually slide it one way or the other. For the sake of time, I'm gonna leave it like that. Like probably if it was something that was gonna go in the Insta story, for car, I would probably take a little bit more time making it You gotta remember to screenshot. I'll do one more. We'll use Sari right here. Okay, and the reason we're gonna use her is because she's taking a pose that's not gonna work to fill up the whole screen while fitting her all in unless we don't take up the whole screen. You'll see what I mean. So on these, you have to get creative. Maybe you don't want to show that back leg, maybe just the front leg. Maybe you just want to show the back leg. Like maybe you just want to show it like this because you want to like give a message or something like in your Insta story. I don't know what kind of messages you would give out, but hypothetically, if it was like a studio, right? If this was Rising Stars and they were gonna give a message about something, dress rehearsal this weekend. Okay, hypothetically, I don't know what you guys do. Whenever there's reds or anything like that, the one thing that's gonna really like pop that red is if you go up on saturation. See how like if I go down in saturation, the red starts to disappear and I go up, it's like this is the middle, okay? Now I can take the red out or I can put the red in brighter. However, whatever your preference is. Screenshot, remember, open Insta story. Now we could always say the message that we had to say, but make it creative and put it on her leg or something. When it comes to dressing it up at the end, I'm not very creative. It's a different way, like, so you can use photos that you otherwise wouldn't really use or wouldn't post an Insta story, and you can just get creative with them by knowing the sizes and knowing how to edit them beforehand, before just getting to a place where you just have to put it into, like for example, that gray, it kind of kills me. I don't know, like it's just my preference, but it just kills me. So that or that, like it just, in my opinion, it's night and day. Hope that helped you with editing photos for Insta stories. If you would be interested in how to edit videos, your dance video for Instagram, just let me know. Comment down video in the YouTube comments, and then I will go ahead and make that video next. Other than that, thanks so much guys and have a great weekend.